125, and I'm coming to you from northern Israel. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about current affairs and politics and what's happening right now vis-a-vis the war between Israel and Hamas and Gaza, and the ceasefire, and the Trump-Gaza, Mara-Gaza, or Gaza-Lago, or whatever you want to call it, Gulf of Trump, not Gulf of Trump, Gulf of Trump, seaside resort, luxury seaside resort plan. So, and also, if you look at the title of this video, why it is that people who say that they're actually anti-Israel, oh, I'm not anti-Semitic. They say, no, I'm anti-Israel. Oh, okay. I'm anti-Zionist. Oh, sure you are. They're actually anti-Palestinian. They hate Palestinians. They don't want Palestinians to have a state. And God forbid, if they do have a state, they don't want it to be a nice state. Think about it. Right? Given the proposal by Trump for the U.S. to take effective ownership of Gaza in order to rebuild Gaza into a luxury seaside resort, think about how many people are opposed to it and who is opposed to it and why. Why is a big question, but think about it. How many people are actually opposed to it? Well, so far, all the usual loudmouths who talk about the two-state solution and who demand that Israel give up territory before the Arabs stop using terrorism, they're talking about it. All the people who say they're pro-Palestinians are losing their minds about it. There was an epic trolling piece that President Trump put out on his X feed, which really drove people who hate this plan out of their minds. And here's the thing, okay? I personally do not even necessarily think that evacuating Gaza completely is even in the best interests of Israel, okay? However, how many times can you give people a chance to make peace and to build their own nation state on a piece of land and then have them just turn it into a terror base to attack you and swear that they'll do it again and again and again? Hello, I see you. It's rather preposterous. Israel really doesn't have a choice to do what it has to do to defend itself other than what it's doing now. And you can argue with me till the cows come home and say, oh, Israel is committing a genocide. No, it's not committing a genocide. That is provable. Okay, there are more people alive in Gaza today, according to the Hamas Ministry of Health. Okay? There are more people alive right now in Gaza than there were a year ago, and there were at the beginning of October 7th, 2023. What's more, why are the people that are saying no, or who are the ones saying no? Well, we've already said the usual protesters, the usual people that say that they're pro-Palestinian, and the usual talking heads, and anybody that has what the right refers to as, what the American right refers to as Trump derangement syndrome. Okay, now let me be clear. I am not a big fan of any politician. I am not a big fan of Trump. I wasn't a big fan of Biden. I mean, I know these people personally, and I'm not big fans of theirs. Okay? I wasn't a big fan of Harris. I'm not a big fan of politicians in any country. It doesn't mean I don't believe that there can't be any governments. I'm not some kind of, fake anarchist. No, I'm just not a big fan. I believe politicians are all liars, scoundrels, and thieves, and that's the best I can say about them. But Trump's plan, whether you like it or not, which, by the way, was created by a professor at the George Washington University, which I know well, the university anyway. He created that plan in July of last year and attempted to give it to the Biden team, and they basically refused to even look at it effectively. I mean, they didn't give it a second thought. And he gave it to the Trump team, and they looked at it. And Trump obviously liked the idea because he pronounced it a few weeks ago. Now, why would anybody who is against it be against it? If you like the Palestinians, why would you not want them to be relocated to a better place with some money in their bank account, in a nice home, nice schools for their kids, get them away from the war-torn hellhole, and let some development companies and countries contribute to rebuilding Gaza into a beautiful luxury seaside resort? Why would you not want that? Do you want the Palestinians to live in a war-torn piece of land, which just last week they were calling an open-air prison, an open-air concentration camp? But now when we suggest that they leave, no, you can't make us leave our home. Well, are you refugees or is it your home? Because if you're refugees, you shouldn't really care about whether or not you move. But if it's your home, then you're not refugees. So which is it? You see, the hypocrisy is put on full display by Trump's plan, whether you like it or not. It exposes the hypocrisy of the so-called pro-Palestinian side, which is actually anti-Palestinian. They are just pro-Hamas and pro-terrorism, as long as those terrorists are attacking Israel and killing Jews and other Israelis and people in Israel. That's all these supposed pro-Palestinians want. They're not actually pro-Palestinian. They don't actually want to help the people living there have an actual better quality of life, right? They actually just want to keep prolonging this battle. Oh, you have to have some empathy. They say you have to have empathy for the people living in Gaza and the genocide they're surviving. First of all, again, there's no genocide. Second of all, if you have empathy for them, why wouldn't you want these supposed refugees to be moved to a better place and to be absorbed into a country like all refugees in the world? Why would you want them to be moved from one place of the beach to another around Gaza for the next 10 to 20 years during the reconstruction of Gaza? A destruction, by the way, brought onto them by their own actions, which they recognize. Right? They even said recently, Abu Marzouk, one of the Hamas leaders, said in an interview recently that if he knew that Hamas would suffer this damage and Gaza would suffer this damage as a result of October 7th, he would have urged them not to do it. So again, this just exposes the whole hypocrisy. And it is why I say, again, people who say that they're pro-Palestinian and anti-Zionist are actually, they hate Palestinian as much as they hate Israel. Peace.